Principle number one with regard to teaching or teaching management or any issue, it seems to me, has a lot to do with, are you facilitating learning, or are you trying to cover material that you have scheduled in a syllabus or in a particular time frame that you think is important for everyone to get? The problem here is that even though you cover the material, the students may or may not get it. They may or may not understand it. They may or may not retain it. So in our opening segment here, I'd like to introduce you to some ideas and concepts about the kind of learning that you're targeting in your educational efforts. Ken Bain, author of What the Best College Professors Do, once referred to three different kinds of learning. He talked about superficial learning, in which people learn facts and dates, the date of the Magna Carta, the date of the Gettysburg battle, any number of events, and these are perhaps useful bits of information for cocktail parties, receptions, trivial pursuit games. Other students engage in what we might call instrumental learning, or he calls it strategic learning, where they're attempting to learn for the sake of accomplishing a particular goal. Typically at universities, this has a lot to do with, can I pass the exam? So you'll see students cramming, working late at night near the end of the course, trying to retain all of the information that they've either studied or not studied during the course of the term so that they can get past the exam. But then the question is, a month later, 2 months later, how much of that have they really retained? Bain would compare and contrast this with deep learning, learning in which people are able to integrate what they've encountered in a course or in an experience into their worldview. So they no longer really have to think about it or strive to remember it. It's become a part of them, and they're able to accomplish the application of that learning that they encountered. So Bain, for example, cites in the opening of his book a college physics professor at a well-known state technical school, and he wanted to do a little experiment to see how much they retained. So after the course was over, he invited his A students, not the B students, not the C students, just his A students, into this office to have a little discussion. This discussion was after the course was over. There no grade effect. You've already received your A's. I just want to understand what you have learned or what you come to believe about certain phenomenon. So for example, he said, supposing you had a ball on the end of a rope and you swung that around in a circle, and at some point you let go of the rope so that the ball would fly off. What do you think would happen? Well, what Bain discovered was, and this tech professor of physics discovered, was that even though the professor is demonstrating, if I swing this ball around on the end of a rope and I let go of it, what's going to happen? Most of the A students believed, thinking about the concept of momentum, that the ball would continue in the same fashion circularly off toward the wall. This college professor said, no, wait a minute. He happened to have some props with him. He pulled out of the box a ball on a string. And then he swung it around in front of the students like this, and he let go, and of course the ball went off in a straight tangent line to the point of release and hit the wall. The students said it must be a trick ball or a trick device. That can't be the way it is. So here we have A students, not the average or the low students, but the A students who aced the exam on a physics course at the college level, and they've somehow got part of the concept of momentum in their minds, but they haven't been able to translate or integrate that into an accurate concept.